The first sign that you're beginning to wake up out of the matrix, shall we say, is that you're having trouble dealing with authority figures. For example, you have this idea inside of you, this horrible, grotesque feeling that nobody's better than you. Nobody can tell you how to do your life better than you, right? So when somebody in a position of authority or perhaps somebody that you work with in your office tries to tell you what to do or that you're doing something wrong, you naturally resent that. And this feeling inside that nobody's better than me, or this feeling that authority only really has authority to the degree that we give it authority, if that makes sense. So if you're beginning to realise that authority figures aren't working for you, or this hierarchical structure of life that we have created in order to control our people isn't working for you, then that's one sign that you're beginning to wake up out of the matrix and potentially beginning to have a spiritual awakening. Another sign, or perhaps symptom, that you're beginning to wake up out of the matrix is that you're beginning to question whether God, as we know it, this man with a beard in the sky, is real. Now, I'm probably going to anger some people on this one, but believing in God, at least that very simplistic version of God, is almost like having an imaginary friend. In my experience, it would be for me, because I've never seen this God, this grey man with bearded face, and therefore it would be like me saying, here's my friend John, who's imaginary, would you like to believe in him or not? And if you're beginning to wake up to the idea that God, in the way that we've created it, in the image of man, rather than the other way round, God creating humans in the image of himself, we have actually, from my perspective, created God in the image of ourselves. And if you're waking up to this idea that that God isn't real, then there's another sign. Seems to me that we're beginning to wake up out of the matrix if we actually feel that the ideas of angels and guardians are perhaps more likely to have actually just been aliens, extraterrestrials from another planet coming to visit our Earth. There are stories, ancient texts that talk of the Anunnaki, or Anu, who first came and seeded the Vigwadesh, or the seed template for humanity, which then bred to Eva, or Eve, and Adam. If we're beginning to wake up to the idea that the stories in our Bibles may well be true, but are actually less godlike and more angels from the stars or extraterrestrial beings, then it may well be quite likely that you're beginning to leave the old paradigm of the Matrix and you're going to start coming into the control of your life rather than being controlled by others. Another sign or a symptom that you're beginning to wake up out of the matrix is you begin to see the pointlessness of your job. If you're working in society, I think it's quite interesting actually, the idea that paperwork has become more and more and more. We need more people to do more paperwork within the business structures and offices, yet we have computers to do that. Doesn't that make you question? At least it does for me, and it did for me for a while. It's making me question as to where all this paperwork is coming from. With computers that do these things now, are we being controlled? Are we being manipulated? Is our vision being drawn into this matrix version of reality so that we miss the rest of it? So there's another sign that we're waking up out of the matrix, is that we begin to know as a feeling, or at least get an inkling, that there's so much more to life than born, work, die. we're beginning to realise and perhaps turn our senses inwards and see that actually there's a whole other world that we've been not looking at. We get told by society, well, not really, but posters of really beautiful women, posters of absolutely abtacular men up on the billboards they're photoshopped anyway, and we can't live up to these high expectations that society or advertising puts up to us. And it's almost like that seems to be a facade, shall we say, in the sense that it puts us at a position where we feel deep pain. There's deep wounds within us because we maybe feel like we're never enough. We can't live up to these expectations that society or our parents or friends put up on us. So we create this fake life that makes it look amazing on the outside, but on the inside we're hurting. So this whole exterior world is created so that pain is caused within us that we're scared to look at. But all it really takes is some sincerity and a quick turn inside to approach that pain with honesty. And we begin to pull ourselves out of this matrix that was only created to keep us dishonest in the first place. Maybe there's another sign that we're beginning to wake up out of the matrix. If our jobs are seeming meaningless to us now, or a whole future ahead of us in a career that we know is not going to give us any satisfaction of paperwork, but it may well pay a nice bill, maybe there's some feeling inside of you that you know that you want more from this life. Maybe you've misplaced that and put it onto celebrity status. Oh, I want to become a celebrity. Well, maybe you will be. But what if we're misplacing that because society's guided us that way and actually we're not looking for that at all? What we're really looking for has already been within us, always is, always was. We've just been so focused externally that we've never turned in and had a look. One sign that we're beginning to wake up out of the matrix is we're beginning to realise that the treasure we're looking for we've always had within us. I think that'll do for now. I love you, and if you are beginning to wake up to the reality of life beyond the reality that we just see externally, then it may well be quite likely that you're not only waking up out of the matrix, you're waking up to the truth of who we are, our nature that never dies. And if you are and wish to go a little bit deeper into that, I have a free guided meditation for you. But it won't be like any guided meditation you've ever done before. I'd just like to put that out there, because it will focus you on your inner feeling. It will draw you into this incredible feeling that we had as a kid but that we lost, because we gave all of our power to our identity and gave all of that away to society. If you're interested in that, there's a link below. I love you. Stay well. Well? Stay well. Stay well. Peace.